Oh, hey, what's up, everybody? This is Ryan Daniel Moran, and together today I'm going to be giving you the blueprint, the formula that I've used to build scalable and sellable physical products brands. And when I say scalable and sellable, I mean scalable into the multi-millions, sellable for many millions of dollars. That's going to sound too big for real life to some of you. But I have given this blueprint I've actually taught this to hundreds of thousands of people, and I have seen over 100 people become millionaires as the result of this exact formula. I call it the 12 months to 1 million blueprint. It made me a millionaire in less than 12 months, and it has done the same for over 100 other people. It's given them a $1 million business following this exact same blueprint. So I'm not going to hold anything back here. As long as you give me your attention for 60 minutes, which is what it's going to take for me to get through this. So shut out of social media. Facebook is a productivity business killer. And just give me your attention for 60 minutes. If this doesn't resonate with you, that's cool. If it does and you want help implementing this, we help entrepreneurs implement this exact blueprint. But I promise you that at the end of this class, you're going to walk out with the exact formula that we use to repeatedly build and scale $1 million physical product businesses. All right? I've used this exact formula to create and advise several multi-million dollar companies. I have personally started 3 different brands on my own or with a partner. I've sold 2 of them, and their combined value was just shy of $20 million. I've taught this to hundreds of thousands of people. I have almost 200 other entrepreneurs who have built $1 million businesses using this formula. I've also had products in retail stores across the US. I've had #1 products on Amazon. I've enjoyed sales of $1 million a month. I know you've heard people brag about this kind of stuff in the past. I'm going to show you proof, and I am going to show you exactly how it's done. I'm most proud of the fact that I've been able to duplicate this with hundreds of other entrepreneurs. You'll see a few of them that I call the $100 million group. The reason I call them that is because collectively, our students do, well, you guessed it, over $100 million a year in sales, and most of them are just on Amazon alone. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of all of this, I'll very quickly tell you a little bit about my background. I'm the founder of capitalism.com, and I am the host of the Freedom Fastlane blog and podcast. I believe that capitalism and entrepreneurship is the best shot we have at changing people's financial futures, as well as solving most of the problems in the world. My 12 months to 1 million formula has been seen by over 600,000 people. Actually, that's just one YouTube video of me teaching part of this process, and it's helped create over 100 millionaires. I made all of my money running e-commerce businesses. I'm an e-commerce entrepreneur. That's where I made all my money. I don't make the majority of my money teaching this stuff or from speaking fees. I make the majority of my money from running this process. I have done over $1 million a month in revenue on Amazon.com alone. And then there's all the other places where we sell too. I think the best way to have financial freedom is very simple. It's to build a business and to invest the profits. That's what I have seen be the foolproof plan to creating financial freedom. And I've done it with e-commerce businesses and physical products brands. And I'll talk a little bit about why I think that is the most predictable way to create real cash flow and wealth. It's my personal belief that the best way to solve the world's problems, both financial problems for individuals and communities and your families, and also global problems like tackling problems you believe in and want to see change in, is to be an entrepreneur. I'm not necessarily asking you to agree with me, but that's my belief, and I want you to know that going into this. I think it's a good thing to be an entrepreneur. I think it's a good thing to be a capitalist. I think we need more of that in the world. And I also believe that more people would be entrepreneurs if they just had a clear plan. So if you are an entrepreneur who hasn't had your big payday yet, or if you're a successful entrepreneur that's looking for the next big thing, or if you're thinking about being an entrepreneur or you've wanted to be an entrepreneur, this is the clear plan that I have seen predictably create million-dollar businesses for all of those different types of people. I have given this blueprint to brand newbies and watched them create million-dollar businesses. In fact, I had one student who was a truck driver who said, man, I don't know about this stuff, but I'm going to give it a shot. And I was like, this guy, he's not going to do the work. But he did the work, and he built an extremely successful business. I've also given it to experienced entrepreneurs who have then put it to work with their existing knowledge, and it was the biggest business they ever built. And I've helped everybody in between. This is what I believe is the clear plan forward. And I think more people would be successful if they had a clear plan. But what happens with most entrepreneurs is that they fall into a trap. I was on stage with Robert Herjavec, that's the nice guy from Shark Tank that you see on your screen right now, and he said something really interesting. He said most entrepreneurs start a business because they're moving away from some sort of a pain. And I thought that was really interesting, but I've noticed that most people never fall out of that pain. They start a business and then they become trapped in it because there's no way out. They have no way to sell the business. They have no way to really scale the business. So most entrepreneurs start a business and they get trapped in this vortex of working all the time, even more than before they had a business. They worry about money more than before, and they see no end in sight. And they feel like they have to keep working and keep working because there's this fear that it's all going to go away. So if you have ever missed a family event because you were busy working, either on a job or in your business, or if you've ever got into a business because you wanted a better life, but then you found that you were working even more and more than before, or if you've ever lost sleep because you were worried about a business going under or because you had financial worries, or if you were ever worried that what you have built is all going to go away. If that's you, if you say yes to any of these, then that's because you're not building something sustainable, scalable, or sellable. And that's what we're going to fix together. Cool? I can speak to this because that was me back in 2013. I cut my teeth selling information products on the internet. I hated every single minute of it. I hated being one of those guys. I did okay. I was doing well, but I was buried into this nonstop hustle and grind, and it felt like I was doing crunches for hours a day trying to get a six-pack. That's what it felt like. The six-pack was never going to come, but I was just doing crunches and more crunches. But worse of all, the business could never grow beyond me. I had really built myself into a job. I had not built myself into a business. So I was a slave to keeping the whole thing going, and I was always afraid that it was going to burn out. And then I burned out. And when I burned out, I turned off all my income streams, and I said, I will never again build a business that is dependent upon me. I will never again build something that could be crushed by a single change in Google's policies or a single Facebook slap. I will never again build a business that I can't sell, because if I want to exit a business, I want to take my payday and I want to invest that so that I can be done. And I vowed that I will never again get stuck in anything that made me less free than I was before. What I wanted was a formula and a business model that came with no upside limits, meaning there's no ceiling to how much I could earn. This is a screenshot this is actually just one of my Amazon accounts that shows the sales of a few of my products. This doesn't capture all of the products, but it captures most of them, of sales of $9,585,000 and $877.30. And this big spike that you can see right here, I'll explain what that's from in a couple of slides. This is another one of my smaller brands. This is a small fish oil company, actually, at sales of $1,556,615.49. And by the way, profit margins on all of these are between 40 and 50%. So millions of dollars worth of profit, and it's a tangible asset that can be sold. And I have sold these businesses in the past. This is me holding the check, actually, from the first business that I ever sold. That was a pretty cool day when I cashed out all my hard work, took a big fat check, and put it into the bank account. You see, I follow this plan that has really high upside potential that can be sold for millions of dollars because I've got a dream. Some of you are going to think this is silly or maybe too audacious, but my dream is to own the Cleveland Indians. When I was a kid, I used to go to the Indians games with my dad. I watched the team get disassembled in the early 2000s. I was a teenager and I said, I want to buy this team and turn them around. And ever since then, that has been my dream. And I know that I'm only going to get there if I follow a business model that is proven, can have unlimited upside potential, and can make many, many millions of dollars without me having to kill myself, so it's sustainable. My plan is very simple. I build brands with multi-million dollar potential, and I also work with, advise, and acquire brands that I know I can grow. And that's partly why I teach this stuff, because as I teach this stuff and some of my students go on to build their own brands, I want to acquire those at some point or advise them or be a part of them. So I partner with some of my students. I invest with my students. I even acquire the businesses that some of my students create because my dream is to own the Cleveland Indians, and the best strategy that I've found is to build a sustainable, scalable, sellable brand. Here's why. Brands are often sold for many millions of dollars. A lot of my students have done exactly that. And this is a proven business model that has existed for as long as brands have existed. Let me go through a couple examples to show you what I mean. Some of you may be familiar with this brand right here, Seventh Generation. They sell paper towels and they sell laundry detergent and they sell diapers. Well, Seventh Generation, they sell products for, $8 here, $12 here. And they sold in 2016 for $700 million. Now, are you going to build a Seventh Generation? Are you going to build a $700 million business? I hope you do, but probably not. So you don't need to have a big corporate team like Seventh Generation did or a big advertising budget. What we're going to go through is, how do you build a mini one of these? Do like half of 1% of one of these and cash that out for a few $1 million. Seventh Generation sold for $700 million. So small brands, even tiny brands, can sell for a small fraction of that, but that is a significant chunk of change to take home. Some of you may be more familiar with these brands, CoverGirl, Nice and Easy, Gucci. Well, these were part of a bigger company that held all three of these brands as well as some other brands. And together they sold in 2015 for $12.5 billion. Now, are you going to go build your own Gucci? I hope you do. But if you did half of 1% of that, which really means you just have a brand and it's taking some sales, that's a profitable business model that can also be sold for a big payday. But this collection of brands sold for $12.5 billion. Are you familiar with Skippy peanut butter? Skippy sold for $700 million in 2013. It's just peanut butter. Are there even margins in peanut butter? Like, do you even make money selling peanut butter? How about Gillette? Most of you are familiar with Gillette, right? Razors and shaving cream. You know what they sold for? They sold for $53 billion in 2005. Are you seeing a trend here? If you have a brand, it's a sellable asset. How about Vega? These are protein powders. This is a really interesting case study because Vega sold for $550 million in 2015. Just the protein powders and the nutritional shakes. Now, I want you to pay attention here. Like, if you're poking around on Facebook, this is the time for you to lean in, and because I want to show you something really cool. Here's why brands like Vega get acquired for so much money. The company that bought Vega was a company called White Wave. And they bought Vega, they bought Wallaby Greek yogurt, they bought So Delicious ice cream. These are all products that you could find at your local grocery store right now. They bought all of these brands, they packaged them up, and they sold them to another company called Danone for $12.5 billion in 2016. And I tell you this because there are these big companies that want to buy more brands, and then they'll either hold them and grow them, or they sell them to even bigger companies for more money. And people like you and me can build these small brands, these tiny little brands, get them to make millions of dollars. I made all of my money building brands and living off the profits, but then selling the brands for your big payday. So you can either scale them and sit on the profits, or you can sell them for big paydays as long as you do the branding and the selling right. And I'm going to teach you how to do all of that. So my question to you is, are you building something that can be scaled and sold? If not, that's why you're stressed. That's why you're spinning your wheels. That's why you've never gotten ahead. And that's why you feel stuck, either not seeing the results that you want or stuck in a business that you can't get out of. Physical product brands have been built and sold for decades. It's a proven business model, but the opportunity is extremely ripe right now. Here's why. Right now is the time to start a brand because you can start one for as little as $500, although I recommend you having at least $5,000. You don't need to sell anything new. You don't have to create your own products. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You also never need to warehouse or ship or even touch a single product ever. Plus, there are no Facebook bans, Google slaps, there's no search engine optimization, there are no affiliates, there are no sales letters, there's no copywriting, there's no media buying or anything like that. All you need to know how to do is get the products and sell the products. And I'll show you exactly how to do that. We've been able to turn this into a nice system that has been proven, and many entrepreneurs, hundreds of entrepreneurs have used this. Many of them are now millionaires. So here's the 12 months to $1 million, 12 months to 1 million strategy in one slide, if you will. And it looks like this. We're creating a mini brand that sells pretty much the same exact products as the big brands. We don't need to create something new. We're just going to sell what's already selling. Second, you never touch any of the products, even though they're exactly the same a lot of the times as some of the big brands. We're going to put those products on internet sites like Amazon.com and Walmart.com to sell the products. And then we're either going to scale the business or we're going to sell the business. That's going to be our exit plan. So that's our strategy in one slide in 30 seconds or less. And as a result of doing this, you walk away with a scalable and a sellable brand. So for example, I've got one student, he started his brand for $1,000. He built it up, he sold products, and he continued to roll out more products. And he just sold it just a few months ago for $12 million. Took him about 2 years to go from that $1,000 investment to getting a $12 million payday. Pretty cool stuff. So our formula is pretty simple. It looks like this. We're going to create the physical product line. We're going to choose the products we sell. We're going to build that into $1 million income stream, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. And then we're either going to live off the profits or we're going to sell that brand for millions of dollars. So I just want to let you know, this is not for everybody. This is not for those who want a short-term or an overnight mindset, because this really takes about 12 months to complete. This isn't for those who are not willing to invest into their own success, and it's definitely not for anybody who has less than 10 hours a week or less than $2,500 to invest into their business. I've seen people do it for less, sure, but I really believe that you should have a comfortable amount of capital to work with. And it doesn't mean that it has to be your capital. It means you might have to have a friend or a business partner who has the capital, but you need to have access to it. So you've got to have the ability to get enough capital to be able to build this business and go when you're going to go. So who this is for is success-minded high achievers who all they need is the plan. For example, My millionaire students, Dan and AJ, they were ready for success. They just needed somebody to give them the plan. And now they've done, they do over $10 million in sales every year. Would-be entrepreneurs who have been spinning their wheels for too long, meaning people who want to be entrepreneurs but just haven't had the right opportunity, kind of like my millionaire student, Marsha. She sells over $250,000 per month, and she thought this was just going to be something little that she did on the side. I'm really proud of her. This is for people who have said, I've tried everything, because they're opportunity seekers, but they're ready to say, I'm going to stake my claim and build something for the long term. That's like my millionaire student, Kelly Fidio, who now runs a multi-million-dollar business from home, and she's the mom of two beautiful girls. So she does this while being a mom. This is for people in the corporate world who want to out-earn their bosses and want to venture off on their own, like my millionaire student, Brian Krieger, who built wealth, meaning million-dollar wealth, with his very first brand. This is for serial entrepreneurs who have been doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but they're ready to stop chasing shiny objects and build something of real value, like my millionaire student, Ralph Kleska, who built a $1 million business. And then he said, all right, I got my $1 million business. Now I'm going to start some more $1 million businesses because I enjoy this process so much. Those are the types of people that I like to work with and the people that I know I can help. So here's what the opportunity looks like right now. This is why now is the time to be doing this. Back in 2012, Walmart outsold Amazon 16 times over. But in 2015, just a few years later, Walmart had been replaced by Amazon. Amazon is now the world's biggest retailer with $244 billion in sales. And according to eMarketer.com, online sales have doubled since 2011, and they're going to double again over the next 3 years. The graph looks something like this. Now, this only goes to the end of 2015, but you can see the growth, and that trend continues to go up, and this is just Amazon revenue. It's easier than ever to take products and put them on Amazon and be a part of this $100 billion conglomerate where all of these sales are happening, and it continues to go up exponentially. In fact, in 2015, Amazon did $72 billion in physical product sales. Some people think of Amazon.com as a bookstore. Well, you can see the piece of the pie here that was represented by books, the rest of it by actual physical products. Now, the reason I am so excited about Amazon and why I recommend that every physical product start on Amazon is just because that's where all the buyers are. So you're probably familiar with Prime Day. Prime Day is a day when Amazon discounts a lot of things and does a whole lot of marketing. Well, on Prime Day 2016 alone, one of my businesses, and you can see it was, I know this is probably small for you, but July 12th of 2016 is the date range here. Just on Prime Day alone, one of my businesses sold 3,881 units for a total of $111,297.21 in one day. Over $100,000 in sales on just one day. This is the power of having your products on Amazon, and I think it's going to be also the opportunity to have your products on Walmart and Jet. This is the power of having products out there on the internet on these sites like Amazon.com, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do all of that. So right now, these physical brands, as a result of all of this opportunity, are being valued at crazy amounts of money, and they're stealing up serious market share. So right now, Yeti, which just sells coolers, all they sell is coolers. They're valued at $5 billion. The Honest Company, that's Jessica Alba's company, they sell diapers. They grew from $10 million in 2012 to $250 million in 2016. And in 2016, they sold for $1 billion to Unilever. Amazing. Dollar Shave Club. You know that viral video that everybody was talking about a couple years ago? As a result of that video, they grew to $615 million in 5 years, and they recently sold for a cool $1 billion. Why? Because small little brands are growing quickly and getting gobbled up by big companies. And in addition to these really big companies that are getting sold and making all this money, there's also my students. To date, my students have sold more than $100 million just on Amazon.com alone. And that's not just a lot of zeros. That's money for family vacations, educations for kids and grandkids, or funding a healthy retirement plan. Oh, and that $100 million, they're on track to double it over the next couple of years because of the power of Amazon.com and all of these other sites where you can sell your products. So when you know how to market your brands online, the speed of growth is mind-blowing. So, by the way, the brands I'm going to show you how to create that can go way beyond Amazon.com. And using our combined negotiating power as a group, we're also helping our students get into brick and mortar stores like Walmart, like Nordstrom, like GNC, and more on that later. But first, I want you to meet the most beautiful girl in the world. Aww. This is Esther. This is my little girl. She was she might have even been, she was actually still in her mommy's tummy when I started my first physical product brand. And if you think there's pressure to start a new business, try throwing a soon-to-be-born baby into the mix. And I had just shut down my information products business, so I had less money than I was used to coming in, and this adorable little princess on her way. So I pretty much had to make my first brand work. I had to make this business model work. I know what that pressure feels like to say, this has got to work. So I started my first brand, and honestly, we had no idea what we were doing. So I followed my passion, which is men's fitness. I started a men's fitness brand. My partner and I, we made so many mistakes. We probably did more things right, or more things wrong than we probably did right. We had never sold on Amazon before. I had never sold a physical product in my life before. So we made all kinds of mistakes, but kind of accidentally, we did a couple things right, and we started to make some sales. So we tweaked those accidents, we improved them, and the results got a little bit better. And one day I was like, hey, my partner, Matt, I was like, hey, Matt, how do you feel about hitting and selling $100,000 a month? And he laughed at me. He thought I was kidding. But we not only hit that goal, we crushed that goal. And a few months after that, we were on target to hit in the multi-millions. And today, that brand sells over $600,000 a month just through that brand. And it is valued at over $17 million. So there are other companies, there are other millions of dollars to talk about. There's more deals, but I'm going to save those for later. Right now, I want to go into the specifics, like how do we start this thing? Because the number one question I get is, how do you know what products to sell, either on Amazon or on another site? And I say, keep it really simple. To get a good product to sell, just sell what's already selling. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You just got to find out what's already selling and put a tiny twist on it. So, for example, we talked about these two diaper brands, The Honest Company and Seventh Generation. Did they really sell that different of products? They're both diapers, right? They're both considered natural diapers. One sold for $1 billion, one sold for $700 million. Are they really all that different? No, there's just a huge amount of diaper sales in the world. So sell what's already selling. Here's another good example. These are two testosterone boosters that are for sale on Amazon. These two companies compete with one another, and this company up top, Boost Ultimate, sold for $12 million. This company down here, Testworks, sold for $5 million, and they sell pretty much the exact same product. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel, just sell what's already selling. So where do you get the products? Well, there are manufacturers from all over the world that will let you put your brand name on their products. So what that allows you to do is not have to make any products yourself. It just means that you've got to know what you're going to sell and let somebody else supply it. So I want to make something really clear. Most entrepreneurs that I know spend years developing new products. You don't have to do that. There are tons of manufacturers out there who will let you slap a name on any product. And you can find high quality, low cost ones and then sell them to new customers. So over the years, we've gotten really good at this. So let me show you how easy it can be to find products and rebrand them for a big profit. So this is Alibaba.com. I mentioned it earlier. You'll find a bunch of other sites similar to this, but their sole reason for existing is to connect entrepreneurs like you with quality manufacturers from all around the world. And they got pretty much everything. And at wholesale prices that you'd expect to pay. So this product here, it's a collagen anti-wrinkle cream, sells for $3. So you would rebrand this, put your own label on it, and then you'd sell it over on Amazon. Product like this sells $49.99. That's like, what, 1,000% markup? Pretty good math there. And all you have to do is make sure your brand stands out from everybody else. And lucky for you, we figured out exactly how to do that. For example, my yoga mats. I had a brand that I built and I sold. I sold it for a huge profit, and it was called Zen Active Sports. So we built this yoga products company, and we just decided we'd make a little twist on the yoga mat. We went with it being environmentally friendly. We just tried to reduce packaging. We tried to use as environmentally friendly ingredients or supplies in the process as possible. And that made it stand out from everybody else. So the only reason we went into yoga was because, we see all these yoga studios popping up all over the place. It's a big market. There's hundreds of millions of people who do yoga around the world. They all need yoga mats. So rather than try to reinvent the wheel, let's sell yoga mats, but let's try and do it a little bit different so it stands out from everybody else. So that's where you start. Start with a big market. You get your first product, and then you put it on Amazon.com and other sites. Well, here's a question that comes up. Who does the shipping and fulfillment? And that's fulfilled by Amazon. So we'd get our products from Alibaba or from another manufacturer. We ship it straight to Amazon, and Amazon handles all of the sales, all of the payments, the customer service, and the shipping. So what happened was we got our yoga mats. They cost all told $13. We sold them on Amazon for $37 or $39, and we sold a bunch of them. So I'll make that trade all day long, $13 for $39, and then we sold the business, and that's what it looked like. But brands don't just have one product. They've got entire lines of products. So, Jessica Alba, the actress, we talked about her company a little bit earlier, Honest Company. Well, you don't see her in the movies much these days because she's the CEO of that company. And she started the Honest Company after she got frustrated because she couldn't find a laundry detergent that her baby wasn't allergic to. So she created her own, and they sold that product. But then they went on to sell diapers and vitamins and everything else you can think of. That's the same approach that my blueprint takes. You have one product, you turn that into more products and more products, and you roll out an entire line of products. And that's why Honest Company could sell for $1 billion. And that's why the brands that I help people build can be sold for millions of dollars. Does this make sense? Are you guys with me? Give me a yay or a nay or some hashtag love or something in the comments. Let me know that you're still breathing here. Does this make sense? You start one product, you get that selling, then you roll out more and more products, and that's how you have a successful brand. Okay, good. Thank you for the love. Keep it coming. I feed off your love here. Thank you very much. Okay, so my blueprint follows 3 stages. And this is just a way of putting together everything we're talking about here into a succinct format. It looks like this. There's the grind, where you're getting your first $20,000 a month. It takes between 2 and 3 months to get there. The growth, which is getting to that $1 million, that $80,000 a month, that takes between months 3 and 8. And then there's the gold, which is when you've got more than $1 million business, and that's the final few months. That's months 8 to 12. That's about what it takes to get to that $1 million stage. So let's break this down to what it looks like. Stage 1 is when you're choosing your products, you're figuring out what you're doing, and you're getting to your first $20,000 a month. It should take 2 to 3 months to get there. Well, your mission is to get your products on Amazon.com and get to 20 sales and 50 reviews as fast as possible. Just those 2 things. That's all you need to focus on. So once again, do nothing else. Nothing else except for getting to 20 sales per day and 50 positive reviews. This is very strategic. I want you to focus only on those things because I found that the vast majority of sales in the beginning come from one place, Amazon.com. In the beginning, all of your sales will probably come from Amazon. So we want to focus on reviews, and we want to focus on showing up on Amazon.com. That means do everything you can to get reviews and to show up for keywords. So the amount of sales is important, but you need reviews to get those sales. So how do you do that? Answer is really simple. You do whatever you got to do. So if you've got a mailing list, use it. If you've got a YouTube channel, use it. You got a podcast or a blog or free resources that you can utilize to get the word out, use those to get your product moving. Use everything you have to get those initial reviews and to get the product selling. If you don't have any of those, no problem. Do this instead. What we did when we built our yoga products business is we built a little Facebook page. I know you can't see this very well, but this has a few thousand likes on it. We spent about $10 a day to advertise this page. And then we had a little audience that we could sell our products to or announce our products to. And that's how we got the word out about our yoga mats. So we got our I Love Yoga followers to buy our yoga mats and leave reviews. And that's how we got it moving. That's how we got those first 50 reviews to be able to get this to 20 sales a day. So we sell the yoga mats, we get the reviews, and that's how we really got this thing moving. And that's how we started the business. So we do whatever it takes to get through that first stage. For example, I had a student on a conference call get frustrated because he wasn't making any sales. So I just gave him one task. I said, by next week, I want you to come back with 15 reviews. I don't care how you get them. Go ask your mom, your neighbor, your dog. Just get me those reviews. So he comes back a week later. He was skeptical that it would work, but because he got those 15 reviews, he was getting 8 to 10 sales per day consistently once he got those 15 reviews. So then he hit the 20 sales per day milestone, and he had the rest of the reviews to move on to the next stage. Now, one of my students, Kelly, used a different tactic. When she came to me, she was looking to transition from her work as an attorney, and she wanted a home business that would allow her to have more time with her kids. So to get there, she took a shortcut with Amazon pay-per-click. Amazon pay-per-click is a way to advertise your products on Amazon.com. So when you use that, you get higher sales. And remember, the more sales you have, the more you show up in Amazon. So by sending more sales through paid ads, Kelly's listing jumped to the first page of Amazon.com. As a result, she's a multi-million-dollar brand owner, generates sometimes thousands of sales per day, as much as 18,000 sales per month, all thanks to this strategy. So she's a multimillionaire as a result of this strategy. So stage 1 looks like this. Your goal is to get to 20K a month, and that's not hard when you just focus on getting your product up, get your reviews, and use Amazon pay-per-click. It should take less than 4 months to get to this stage. Now, what we're going to do next is turn this into a real million-dollar brand. But some people get million-dollar brands after only this stage. Within 4 months, I have had students become millionaires in just 4 months. I want you to meet one of them right now. His name is Julian, and here's what he had to say.
We got these guys here.
Hey.
This guy here, Julian.
Hey.
Well, you launched $1 million business in 2 months, about?
3 months.
3 months.
From idea to launch.
From idea to launch.
From idea to 6 figures.
And now you're pacing $1 million business, right?
A bit over that, yeah.
What was the secret to that success?
Go deep.
Just being really aggressive, right?
Yeah, you got to
like
be really aggressive.
Following the plan, but being really aggressive.
If you believe in your product, go big. Get big, get a lot of quantity, and go hard. Launch hard, and you're going to win.
So that's Julian was pacing $1 million in just 3 months by following this plan. Now, just this week, one of our students posted this on Facebook. It's a long post, so I'm going to summarize it for you. This is an excerpt, but he said, a little over 2 years ago, I was working 2 dead-end jobs, making about $30K a year and supporting a family of 4. Now I have a steadily growing brand that sells products on several e-commerce platforms, and I'm a partner in 3 other brands. So that's 4 total. Most importantly, I spend every moment of my life with the most significant people in my life. Anthony is one of those students who came to me knowing, a little bit about the internet. He just needed some guidance putting those puzzle pieces together. But these days he's killing it, not only with online sales, but with worldwide speaking engagements. He's actually travels the world speaking about this stuff. I mean, my favorite part of this is that he actually spends his time with his family, the most important people in his life. To me, that's a fulfilled dream. All right, so let's move on to stage 2. We've covered stage 1. Stage 2 is releasing as many products as you can to get to that $1 million level. Now, that's important because that first product is going to be your foundation and everything else is going to be built on that foundation. So stage 2 is about building out your product line. That might be 1, 2, or 3 additional products to that first one. So all you're going to do with these products is repeat the process from stage 1. So you get each and every one up to that 20 to 40 sales per day and get those reviews. So as you do this, something magical happens. And here's what the math looks like. If you've got 4 products at 25 to 30 sales per day, that's 100 sales per day. And if your average sale is $25 to $30, that's $1 million business. That's as simple as it gets. That's $1 million business, very, very simply put. And all we need to do is release those products, get those reviews, get them moving a little bit, and that's how we're going to build $1 million business. Now, a lot of businesses get to $1 million with just 2 products. Just 2 products. The reason for that is because of the compounding effect. The momentum from one product fuels the second product, and it fuels the next product, and the next product, and on and on and on. For example, my first product hit number 1 in its category at about 20 sales per day. And we were like, woohoo, yay, 20 sales per day. Well, guess what happened? When we released product number 2, the sales from our first product doubled. We're like, what just happened? And then shortly after that, they doubled again. Wait, what's going on here? Things really started to snowball at that point. And the reason is because one fed the other, and when one grew, so did the other one. People came back and bought one product and the other product. It started to snowball. By the time things had settled, we were pulling in 150 sales per day on one product. That's $135,000 a month from one product. Today, those 2 products together average 400 sales per day. Here's why. Because as you continue to roll out more products, it's like you flip a switch that turns on the whole Amazon marketing machine. This machine takes a couple different forms, but one of them is that you start showing up all over the place. So it was really cool when one of my products showed up the first time for one of these sections on Amazon where it says customers who bought this product also bought this product. And you start showing up all over Amazon.com. So in the case of my yoga mats, I offered yoga towels, yoga blocks. And as a result, customers started seeing multiple products and buying multiple, items in our line. But what this also does is it increase your customer value. Because a customer who was just worth $30 might be worth $70 now. Because they're buying multiple products now. They're coming back and they're buying more. And that is very important when it comes to being valued as a company. Because if you can show that you've got high customer value, you'll attract investors, you'll attract customer loyalty, and this will all increase your value as a business. I'll tell you a story about two of my students, Alex and Shauna Upperman. They started their business with just a few $1,000s. They boosted their customer value by adding new products to their business. Now they're about to sell their business for more than $10 million. Here's what they had to say.
So, hi, Shauna. What was life like a year and a half ago?
Pretty much
What
the
were you
same
doing
as
a
it
year and
is right now.
Oh, you're killing my conversion rate.
I'm sorry. I mean, I have a lot more money now. But our lifestyle hasn't changed, but it could if I wanted it to.
Cool. So a year and a half ago, did you run $1 million business?
Yes.
Okay. Help me out. 2.5 years ago, did you run $1 million business?
No, I was garage sailing.
You were garage sailing?
I was garage sailing. I was buying used board games and I was cleaning them and I was organizing them and I was putting them in neat little bags and I was selling them for like $20.
And how long did it take you after you started building your business to get to $1 million?
You'll have to ask Alex that question.
Hey, Alex. How long after you started business did it take you to get to $1 million?
In run rate?
Yeah.
Or monthly?
And to do $1 million a year.
3 or 4 months?
3 or 4 months? Okay, cool. And so how's your life about to change now?
We're gonna sell our business, and so we'll have more money in the bank.
Are you going to invest the money in
real estate
and
in
live off the
another
profits?
business? Yes.
All right.
So this couple built $1 million business in a couple of months. Then they released more products and it became a multi-million-dollar business, and now they're going to sell it for a big fat payday. This is how brands grow. You have one product and then you roll out more. If you have even just a little bit of passion or marketing experience, I can help guide you through making the product line that's wildly successful. And I can help you position your brand to be sold for a huge profit. Okay, so that leads us perfectly into stage 3. Now, stage 3 is optional because at this point, you know what it takes to build $1 million business. You roll out product number 1, put it on Amazon, get your reviews. Then you repeat the process over several other products. But in stage 3, this is where you might consider turning on other forms of advertising. So that could be a variety of different places, some of them more interesting than others. This is a picture of one of our students, Devin Dorish, and you can see in the background, Rachel Ray is playing, and the reason it's playing is because he sells a line of grilling accessories. And here on the Rachel Ray Show, they're using his products to demonstrate some cooking tutorials. So he gets his products on TV as a way of expanding his product line. Here's what Devin had to say about his story.
What was your life? What were you doing a year and a half ago?
I was waking up every morning during the week, hating my life to go to a job. I was pretty miserable, but I was working hard. I was building my business in the evenings, day job during the day, and really things have changed a lot over the last year.
And what's going on? What is life like now?
Life is good. I wake up excited to work on my business. We get to work together on our business, so that's cool. And we're just having a blast, going to events, learning, trying to invest in ourselves, and just loving the journey.
Did you run $1 million business a year ago?
No.
Do you run $1 million business now?
Yes.
Yes.
About a year later?
Yeah.
Cheers. Good work.
So not only is this the time, at this point in the stage, is it important for you to keep releasing products on Amazon.com and selling new products, but this is the point where it's time to take that brand beyond Amazon like Devin did, and he's got a multi-million-dollar business now. Now I want to give you my secret weapon at this point. My secret weapon in stage 3 is audiences. You heard me mention them before, but this is my secret weapon. An audience is simply a group of people in your demographic that believe the same things you do, that want to buy your products. So you guys might know this guy on your screen. His name is Joe Rogan. He's the UFC host. He was also the host of Fear Factor. Well, in case you didn't know, he's got a huge podcast. So the example here is on his shirt, there's this brand called Onnit. And Onnit is a physical products line. They're made to increase mental and physical performance. Well, the founder of Onnit's name is Aubrey Marcus. And when he set out to build his brand, he didn't have a lot of money. He didn't have any exposure. He didn't have a lot of relationships to be able to get his product out to the world. But he was friends with Joe Rogan. So he goes to Joe Rogan. He says, hey, Joe, millions of people listen to your podcast, so can we partner up? And you know what happened? Onnit went from 0 to $25 million in just a few years because of the exposure on a podcast. Now, the reason this was so successful is because Onnit sold products to the alpha male persona, which are the types of people that listened to Joe Rogan's podcast. And it worked. Their sales skyrocketed. There were no splashy ads. There was no expensive advertising at all. He just partnered with somebody who had a podcast. So all those sales came with really high profit margins. And today that company sells tens of millions of dollars. So take that as a working example. You can go out and get bloggers, Instagrammers, YouTubers. They've already got audiences. And in a lot of cases, for a small fee or for a partnership or just because you made a relationship with them, or sometimes just because you give them free product, they'll talk about your products in front of their audience. And that's the beauty in all of this. If you've got an audience, if you're in front of a lot of eyeballs, that makes you immune to changes on Amazon. It makes you a real sustainable business. I mean, if Amazon disappears tomorrow, if you've got an audience, you still have sales. You still have a business and a brand. And that's important because that means there's no more late night worries of Amazon changes or Facebook bans or Google slaps. And it also means that you can exit your business. This is something that I have experience in. I sold my yoga brand for a big profit. I have another brand that's being acquired for over $15 million. It'll be the biggest check I've ever received in my life. I've got a student that just sold their business for $12 million. I had a student last year sell their business for $9.6 million. I've got other students who are selling their brands for $2 to $4 million. By the way, this brand that's being sold right here for over $15 million, I started it with $600. $600. And a ton of my students are doing exactly the same. Oh, one more example. I saw an Amazon brand. All they sold was on Amazon. No other exposure. They just had some supplements on Amazon. They sold their business for $9.8 million, all cash, just a few months ago. Guys, the retail world's changing quickly. And this blueprint shows you exactly how to position yourself to take advantage of that. Okay, so before we move on, I want to recap. Stage 1 is the grind, where we're just getting our products up. It'll take 2 to 4 months to get to that 20 sales a day. Stage 2, we want to roll out more products and build that $1 million line. Stage 3 is the gold, where we roll out other advertising platforms and we grow our audience or use other people's audiences. This is how you build $1 million business in 12 months. That's how it worked for me, how it continues to work for me, and it has helped so many of our students. This is Brian Krieger. Brian Krieger had an idea for a men's hair care product, and it was just an idea when we met. But as a result of going through my training material, Brian put it into action and he became a millionaire within a year. He's since quit his corporate job and now he mentors other entrepreneurs to do exactly the same. This is Ari and Chelsea Cohen. When I had met them, they had a product that they were selling okay, but not great. I helped them skyrocket their brand and roll out new products and grow their awareness. And within a year, they had $1 million business. Now they're rolling out their second business around their passion. And they did that in about a year. This is Ralph. When I met Ralph, he was a Haagen-Dazs ice cream store manager. I didn't even know those still existed. But with our help, he created a kitchenware company and he became a $1 million brand owner within a year. You seeing a trend here? About a year. He enjoyed it so much that he's now rolling out his second brand. This is Pat Welsh. Pat Welsh and I went to kindergarten together. He saw on Facebook that I was doing really well, and he started following my training. He built $1 million business in a year. And the best part, he has a son my age, the son the same age as my daughter, and we both get to enjoy working from home, and we never have to leave our kids to go to work if we don't want to. That boy will have his daddy in his life forever because of this blueprint. This is Jeremy Shirk. We actually met in Thailand kind of randomly. He was selling ping pong balls, and I started advising him on how to build a business, and now he has a business that does between $250,000 and $350,000 a month. Here's Jeremy's story.
This is my buddy Jeremy Shirk. We met in the Bangkok airport several years ago. What were you doing as a career a couple years ago when we met in the airport?
I was selling ping pong balls in Thailand.
And what happened after we met and you started a new business and you went through the formula? What happened?
I have to pinch myself to see the transition between that time, which doesn't feel like that long ago. Running $1 million company with my partner here, Kevin, and making a difference in people's lives, and just doing things the right way. I'm in a great place right now. We're in San Francisco on a dinner yacht. Life is good, man. Life is good.
And what was the turning point of it all? And how long did it take you to get there?
That's a great question. I mean, there's so many things involved. There's your mentorship, the people you brought together in this group, the masterminding, the networking. But I know the answer you're looking for, and it's really getting clear on our mission and our why as a company, and communicating that to our market, our customers, and that resonating with them, and then them just getting behind our mission and buying into it emotionally.
And you really believe in what you're doing.
Yes.
What you're doing is making a difference in the world, which is what I say true entrepreneurship and capitalism does. It does a good thing in the world.
It's not just a PR move. It's not just like we're going to do.
And it's not just money. You're actually making a big difference in the world.
Yes.
In your employees' lives, your community, and everything.
Yes,
And from the time that it took you to start your business until now, how long did it take you to hit $1 million?
That would have been just over a year, about 12 months time.
You guys seeing a trend here? 12 months to 1 million. I'm going to race through a couple more examples. This is Howard Lee. He created a $100,000 per month business in about a year. He works whenever he wants. This is Sinta Putra. She actually didn't build a brand from scratch. She bought one as an investor, and now she's running a multi-million-dollar business. This is Jeremiah Klingman. He's like 12 years old. Not really. I think he's 19 or 20. He's the youngest person in our group, and he's got a multi-million-dollar brand. I want to introduce you to my buddy Paul, who was a serial entrepreneur spinning his wheels for years until he used the blueprint.
Hey, Paul, will you tell the world what were you doing 2 years ago?
Like professionally?
Yeah, like for work and money. What were you doing 2 years ago? And how's your life different now is what I'm getting at.
Oh, it's way better now. A lot more free time. I was doing a lot of client work. It was so-so, but it wasn't what I wanted.
And did you run $1 million business?
No, I didn't.
And do you run a business that does $1 million in revenue now?
I do now, yeah. Slight difference.
These are just regular people. Many of them had no entrepreneurial experience before taking the reins of their $1 million empires. What they did have was my blueprint and my guidance. Now, when we began this training class, I promised not to hold anything back, and I think I've kept to that promise. I gave you the entire blueprint. I gave you all the steps that you need to reach $1 million. In other words, you can go out tomorrow, use this blueprint, create your own brand with all my blessings. I have no doubt it'll work, just like it's worked for hundreds of other people. But some of you want to make sure that you do it right. I get it. You've done businesses before. You've thought about opportunities before. You've constantly worried that it's all going to disappear because you built your business on sinking sand. You've been seeking freedom, but you found yourself chained to a business or doing something that doesn't give you freedom. You've got to know that this time it's different. Well, this time you're building something real. You're building a tangible brand made up of physical products that arrive on people's doorsteps and make a thud, real products. I know this can be daunting if you've never done this before. That's why I help people do this. So would you like me to guide you as you put this plan into action? I've put together a special opportunity for those of you who are on this training class today. It's a program to keep you on track, to make sure you follow through on the steps, and make sure you build out your $1 million business. It's a program that will keep you laser focused, moving toward your goals. It goes deep and helps you implement everything that you learned on this class. You get to learn while you're earning. I call it the Brand Builder Bootcamp. It's the 12-month plan to a scalable, sellable $1 million business. Now, you can go to freedomfastlane.com/bootcamp and get it now for $2,997. If you stick with me for a second, I've got an even better deal for you. So stick with me for just a minute, and let me tell you what the Brand Builder Bootcamp is, and I've got a cool deal for you. The Brand Builder Bootcamp is part step-by-step training, it's part coaching program, and it's also part startup incubator like Shark Tank, but without the makeup or the attitudes. Now, inside the Brand Builder Bootcamp, I show you exactly how to build your physical product brand. And remember, this isn't like selling ebooks or whatever you might have looked at in the past. This is a real physical products brand on Amazon.com that will expand from there. Then I'll help you get your products into retail stores like Walmart, Nordstrom, GNC. This boot camp is unlike anything you've ever expected. It's a 1-year intensive that keeps you laser focused on building your $1 million business. It's the fastest, most sustainable route to go from making your first dollar to $20,000 a month and ultimately onto your first $1 million. And it doesn't stop there, because as your company grows, we can connect you with investors that might even invest in your business. It's money that allows you to scale up practically overnight. And there's my inside contacts with brick and mortar retailers like GNC, Walmart, Nordstrom, connections that I've made that become your connections. Bottom line, this is not some money in your underwear, biz op kind of thing. This is serious training for serious entrepreneurs. So if this is making any sense at all to you, if there's any twinge of interest here, you're the type of person that can do really well with this. Now, a lot of people ask, if you do so well with this, why do you teach this? First, I believe we need more entrepreneurs in this world. I think we need more wealth in this world. I think the best way that we can create change in the world is by having more success, by having more businesses, by having more personal responsibility. And that's my core belief and my mission in this world. Second, because I buy businesses. One of my strategies for owning the Cleveland Indians is because I also am buying other people's businesses, because I believe in this business model. I believe in what I teach. I practice what I preach. I make way more money doing this stuff than I do teaching this stuff. But I only work with certain people. I only work with people who've got a motor. That means if you're asked to get reviews, you go get them. If it's time to roll out your product, you go do it. If I take the time and energy to show you something that works like crazy, you're going to run off and do it without me having to tell you to do it. If you're the type of person that sets out to do what you say you're going to do, if that's you, that's the most important quality that all of my millionaire students have. Second, it's those with the means and the willingness to invest in their business. Now, nowhere else in the world have I found it possible to create a $1 million business with so little capital. Most investments take tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars just to get your foot in the door. So it is possible to create a $15 million brand with just $600 like I did, but I recommend you have access to at least $5,000. This can be money you've saved up or funds you get from a low interest business line of credit or somebody you know that's an investor in your business. Why? Just in case you need it. Because even if you never use it, you've got to have the mindset that you can turn on the gas if you need to. Robert Herjavec, who I mentioned earlier, he said that lack of capital is one of the things that really starve business growth. And he says that was the biggest mistake that he made in his business when he first started. So I recommend you have access to capital if you need it. Now, I've got a bonus for just those of you who are on today's training class, and it's this. It's access to funding partners. If you've got a great idea, but you don't have the capital, I've got dozens of successful millionaire students who want to fund new ideas for a piece of the action, and they might even mentor you. I have so many successful students who are like, I got my successful business and now I want to be a part of other businesses too. So they help invest in new businesses that are coming through this training. Now you've got to go through the training. You got to prove that you've got the motor to get this going. But if you do that, we have access to funding partners who can help you grow your business. So if you've got the motor, you've got the startup capital, now you've got the brand builder bootcamp, that's what it's going to take for you to build a 7 or an 8-figure company. So inside the Brand Builder Bootcamp, first, you've got the media training room. That's where you're shown how to put all 3 stages into action as quickly as possible. You're going to see behind the scenes of 7 and 8-figure companies, and you're going to see training from a hand-selected group of millionaire brand owners, people that I work with and trained that teach you every step of this business. It's like having a Fortune 500 brain trust mentor you in this business. The training room is all about helping you implement the 12 months to 1 million plan and put the blueprint into action so you can build $1 million business faster and easier. Now, you've got to be willing to follow these directions that my team and I give you. Every step is important, but we're going to give you each piece of the process. In stage 1, you're going to learn how to spot a winning product, how to get reviews and sales, how to rocket up the Amazon search rankings, how to get to that $20,000 per month in sales on your first product, and a lot more. In stage 2, you're going to learn how to bring your brand story to life, how to roll out those next products to build your multi-million-dollar product line, how to bring up your customer value, how to turn one-time buyers into committed buyers, and a lot more. And in stage 3, we're going to solidify your brand, broaden your market, find your way into retail stores, prepare for a 7 or an 8-figure payday, and everything else that lies in between. We're going to show you every step of the process. Now, this is the only complete and reusable blueprint for building a scalable, sellable brand. Now, if I were to stop there, you'd have everything you need to do just that. But I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to add in a special bonus that would normally come to you with a big monthly payment, but not today, not for you. I want to really hold your feet to the fire here and keep you on track. So I am gifting you with 12 months to $1 million of live coaching. For a whole year, my team and I are going to be there for you. These are regular coaching sessions by my millionaire students. They've each run their own $1 million brands. In fact, in a lot of cases, these guys know how to answer questions better than I do. And the reason I'm doing this is because it keeps you accountable. It forces you to succeed, which is the reason why we have so many success stories. And this is live and interactive, so you'll be able to ask questions and get advice from people who are doing this formula. But it doesn't end there. As part of the coaching, you're also getting access to my private Facebook group where you're going to meet other people who are going through the program, people who are on the 7-figure journey. Some of them have already gotten there, and they're there helping you, teaching you, and answering questions along the way. You can trade resources, success strategies, maybe even partner up on future projects. People meet in here, they partner up, they start businesses, they become millionaires as a result of meeting in the Facebook group. I said this before and I'll say it again. This is unlike any business training ever. This is not another course that keeps you stuck. It shifts you into building, followed by succeeding, then growing, maybe even selling for a huge payday. And that's why it's created nearly 200 millionaires. And it continues to work for them and others every day. Just think, 12 months from now, I'm talking this time next year, you can actually have $1 million business of your own. When that happens, it's totally up to you. You can sell your brand, You can take that money and travel the world, fund your retirement, fill up your kids' college fund, or maybe you'll be so passionate about your new brand, you want to stay on indefinitely and grow it into an empire, continuing to grow it into 8 figures, 9 figures, when you can pass on to your kids and they can pass on to theirs. Either way, the boot camp is going to show you how to get there, light the pathway. And now I've added the coaching bonus. It'll even hold your hand along the way. This perfect storm of opportunity is why becoming a millionaire has never been more within your reach than it is right now. You just need laser focus, the right guidance, and when the time comes, the right connections. So let me guide you. My Brand Builder Bootcamp gives you all of this. It's the perfect plan to creating your physical products brand and scaling it all the way to $1 million and more and sell your business if you want to do that. Nobody's talking about this stuff, let alone putting it together into a comprehensive program that shows you how to do it, especially not in 12 months. I mean, that's just unheard of in business today. But that's exactly what you're getting. You're getting over a year's worth of video and audio training, plus regular coaching sessions where you work shoulder to shoulder with current Blueprint millionaires. And let me tell you, that kind of personal access doesn't come cheap anywhere. I charge $10,000 for a half-day consultation, and that doesn't include hotel and airfare. And clients pay me that because I make them that $10K back many times over. So I feel comfortable charging that amount for my one-on-one clients who are already millionaires. That's a no-brainer. But when I began this bootcamp journey, I wanted to open up this training to a larger field. I want to create as many entrepreneurs and millionaire capitalists as possible. So let me ask you, if I could make this extremely affordable, would you join us? I'll wait for you to say, uh-huh. Listen, here's the good news. This is regularly priced at $2,997, which is, if you were to go to college and study business, it costs you the cost of one of those business textbooks. $250 a month is what it would cost. We sell it every day at that price. But for those of you who are on this training class, I've got a dramatic price cut. So as part of the release of this bootcamp, I'm slashing 1/3 off the price, a full $1,000 off the price for those of you who have stuck with me through this entire training class. That's about $5.40 per day. In other words, the choice between a venti size latte each day or building $1 million business. You'll join the likes of this group of millionaire success stories that you have already met, as well as the rest of them inside the boot camp, including Catherine Chung, who's currently in the process of getting into Walmart and other major retailers. She was a millionaire in about a year. Zach Lee, who was spinning his wheels building businesses that he hated. He did one consulting day with me in Austin, Texas. He had $1 million business 3 months after that. And he loved the process so much that he duplicated it with 2 more businesses. Zach Lee had this to say about his businesses.
Zach Lee, tell the world, what were you doing 2 years ago?
2 years ago, I was busting my butt trying to make an Amazon brand take off, I think.
2 years ago? Has it been that long now? How's life different now?
How is life different? Wow. Well, another kid, new house, looking for another Amazon product to sell.
What I'm getting at is, did you run $1 million business 2.5 years ago?
Yes.
2.5 years ago you did?
Oh, no. It was getting there. It was on its way up.
Okay.
It was on its
So
way.
let's go back a little further. 3 years ago, were you running $1 million business?
No. We're just starting, just getting into it.
Okay, and then a year
Looking
after
for the first sale.
So like a year after that, did you have $1 million business?
It was close to $1 million.
All right, so about a year later, you had $1 million business.
Yes.
And you have multi-million-dollar businesses now.
Yes.
Good work, man. Cheers.
Cheers indeed.
Cheers to that.
I have stories like this all over the place, like Alex Hudatan, who lives in Romania, where the average income is just a few $1,000s per year. He earns $100,000 per month. Or Mark McGraw, who's a father of 2, has $1 million business that he runs with his kids. What a cool story. There's Sebastian Castro. English is his second language, does not live in the US, sells over $500,000 per month from home. You already met Alex and Shauna, who started a business with just a few $1,000s. They're selling their business for over $10 million. But I'm going to throw in one more bonus just for those of you who have stuck with me this long, and it's the Get Her Done case studies. The Get Her Done case studies are interviews with millionaire brand owners who followed the blueprint and put it into action. The people who are sitting on this training class that you're on right now took the information and built $1 million business. People like Ralph Kleska, who you met earlier, who was an ice cream store manager turned millionaire. Dan and AJ, who built a $10 million brand called Insta Natural. Jeremy and Kevin, who have a $300,000 per month business. Kelly, the once struggling internet marketer who's now knocking down the doors of Walmart, selling hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. And I'm going to throw this in because it will help you take action on what you've learned and what you're going through in the blueprint. And that's included in the Brand Builder Bootcamp, all for just $19.97 when you act on this class. Oh, and 2 more Brand Builder Bootcamp family perks. 1, we feature our success stories on capitalism.com. You can take your products and say, as featured on capitalism.com, and the exposure to be read by potentially millions of people, putting your products in front of our readers will give you incredible amounts of exposure and PR to help you grow your business that much faster. Plus, the access to investment capital that you might need to scale or start your business when we connect you with our investment partners. That's all included when you act on this training class. So here's where you can do it. The discount is just for those of you who are on the class live. You'll save $1,000 when you go to freedomfastlane.com/BBB. That's freedomfastlane.com/BBB. It's just $19.97 when you act right now. Oh, and by the way, this is all backed up by 100% risk-free 3-month money-back guarantee. That means you can go through the entire boot camp. You can have products up and selling. You can be all the way through stage 1. You could be building $1 million brand. You could come back and say, I want my money back for whatever reason, and we'll refund every penny of your investment. This is risk-free for 3 months, so you can implement the entire blueprint, be on your way to $1 million business, and do this risk-free. So go ahead and join us. Go to the link below, freedomfastlane.com/BBB. You'll lock in the special discounted price before it expires. This is just for those of you who are on the class right now. It's just for those who are attending this training class. So if you've got friends that you send back to the website, they'll see a higher price. So this is just for those of you who are live on the class. You can go to our website right now and pay the full price, or you can go to freedomfastlane.com/BBB and you can get on the action for the lowest price ever. Look, I'm going to make a little confession. I'm going to wear my heart on my sleeve a little bit. When my little girl came around, Esther, that beautiful girl on your screen, it was right after I just shut down a business. It was a really scary time. And you might have thought that with a baby on the way, I should have gone a safer route, like go back to my old business or gotten a job or kept doing what I was doing. But she actually pushed me into the opposite direction. The idea of being a dad inspired me to think a lot bigger. It made me realize I could do a lot more with my life if I put my stake into the ground and took control of the direction of my business. Control of how my personal brand was going to look. And the result was that I not only created a life and a business that I'm proud of, but my income more than tripled after she came to life. I'm so much richer than I was before Esther. And I'm not talking about just money, but the money's nice too. I have the ability to work when I want, where I want, and the rest of the time can be spent building a business I love or with this beautiful girl on your screen. Okay, so enough of that sappy stuff. It's your turn. It's your turn to put your stake in the ground. You don't have to settle anymore. You don't have to go through life afraid to take a risk. You don't have to do miserable things to make a living. You can achieve something great. The Brand Builder Bootcamp is your chance to create a future on your terms. You can have the business and the brand of your dreams. And you know what? It's going to be pretty damn fun along the way. So are you with me? Here's the link. It's freedomfastlane.com/BBB. And remember, it's 100% risk-free for a full 3 months. And I'm guaranteeing that you build a successful brand or you don't pay a cent. That's a huge promise, but it should show you just how confident I am. So click below, go to that website, freedomfastlane.com/BBB, while this is still available. Here's the catch. That price, that $19.97, is only guaranteed for the next 50 students. We do this for 50 students a month. Then the price will go up to $2,997. So I recommend you take action right now. If you come back to the website, if you go to freedomfastlane.com and go to Brand Builder Bootcamp, you'll see the full price. But if you go to this backdoor link while you're on the training class, it's freedomfastlane.com/BBB. You'll save a full $1,000. And remember, this is 100% risk-free for a full 3 months. And I'm guaranteeing you that you have a successful brand or you get every cent back, no questions asked. Now, this price is going away very soon. If you leave this training class and you go back to the website, you'll pay the full price. But don't worry, it's still a bargain at $2,997. All right, this is the last call to save and get the bonuses we talked about here on the training class because we're going to wrap up. I'm going to go play with Esther if she's not engrossed in some noisy toy. So I'm going to wrap this up. This is the last call. Go to this website right here. If you go back later, the price will be different. It will be $2,997. But if you go to this website here in the next 60 seconds or so, you'll save a full $1,000 off the already low price of $2,997. All right, so this is last call to build $1 million business according to the blueprint. Or you can come back later and pay full price. Hey, thanks so much for joining me on the training class. I think we need more entrepreneurs in this world. We need more success. We need more wealth in this world. We need more people who can will wealth to their kids, spend time with their kids, create the lives that they want, give back more in this world. That's what really will make a difference in this world. That's how we change the world, through more success, more freedom, more entrepreneurship, more capitalism. freedomfastlane.com/BBB. Last call. Thanks for joining me on the class. I'm here to help people build sellable and scalable brands. I hope you'll join me at freedomfastlane.com/BBB. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I'll talk to you soon.